do this, there will be consequences. And we will in whatever way withdraw your franchise, whether it's by stopping buying the thing or by stopping paying the TV license or whatever it would be. Because only in that way can we insist on a conversation which is essential. A conversation is not a luxury in a democracy. It is vital.
Can I speak up for the meeting? I think our media, by and large, does a fairly good job. I don't think we're excluded from debate. And I think, you know, when I hear questions about Soros, it reminds me of people in America raising questions about Putin. Trump didn't win the American election because of Putin, and there aren't great pushes for EU integration because of Soros. They're operating at the very margins to the degree that they're operating at all. And the media is just a receptacle with a whole load of different people with diffuse and different interests. I think of far greater importance for us is the Irish style of public discourse, yes, which is not to disagree with people in a reasoned fashion, it's to say, you're a bollocks, and your view is impermissible. It is to shut down debate rather than allow debate. It is to defame rather than debate. And I think rather than us defaming the media potentially, we need to debate with the media and call them out in the individual cases where we believe they're wrong.
Part of your question asked, how do you deal with the media? I would hold a slightly different view to Cormac in relation to the role of the media. I've had a lot of personal experience of it. I've probably gone close to 100 times now in my academic career. But there's one thing that Nigel Farage said during his talk, and when he was talking about how the grassroots movement began. He said that if you put the truth out there, that things happen because of it. And I wrote my PhD dissertation, took me many years, and it was on public opinion, okay, public attitudes. And there was a guy called John Cllr, an American, and he wrote a book in which he tested this idea. And what he found was that if there's 100 people speaking on the media, and 99 of those 100 people are saying, you have to stay in the EU, there's no other option, we can't talk about this. But one person out of the 100 says, hang on, we actually need to have a conversation about this is in our national interest, we're entitled to, it's democracy. People who feel that way will hear that one person. And so I would say to you as an audience that if you feel passionately about this question, not to feel inhibited about the fact that the media carries zero, really zero, on the question, certainly in comparison to media in other states in the European Union. So you just need that one voice, and it's part of the reason why I've said no to Jean Monnet is part of the reason why, you know, I don't get any credit whatsoever for speaking about the European Union in an objective manner if I say something that is negative. Let's just put it that way. And the media have always tried to shut me down on live radio shows, etc., to try to stop that message getting out. But, you know, you can be your sole voice and the truth is on your side, so don't be afraid to discuss this.
I like that phrase by, I think it was St. Basil the Great, who said that a gladiator doesn't complain about being beaten in the fight, he complains about not being allowed in the amphitheatre. So that's, we have to get our voice, be strong, be confident, do not be afraid, and make our voice heard. Social media, with your friends. I started off, John, you may remember 15 years ago, I started off my kind of communication career writing letters in the press. We're going to take one more question from this lady, and then we'll finish off with the national anthem.
I'd actually like my friend to ask one more question, if that was okay afterwards. She has a really short one.
Okay, yeah, that's very nicely.
So I was wondering, do you think we have enough control over our natural resources and agriculture to be fully sustainable, or have we already sold away too many of these rights?
Well, obviously I talked about fisheries, and through the Common Fisheries Policy, by the way, which was created before the membership applications of Norway, Denmark, Ireland and the UK, all of which have huge, large sea areas. Strangely, the EU didn't create a policy where cultivated land was decided to be a common resource, so Irish farmers can't take land in France and grow their crops there and vice versa. So only the seas have been made a common resource, and only certain member states have access to those seas. So there's an imbalance in that policy that is ludicrous in the first instance. But do we have control over agriculture? Do we have control over natural resources? Look at oil and gas. We don't. Again, the government, in a way, divvies that out to private interests in order to exploit. Compare that to Norway. And again, I'd refer you to Richard O'Donnell's documentary, The Atlantic, on that. One of the things under the EU, what we did was we closed down the sugar beet factories. And again, it was because of this pressure of globalization, etc. I don't think it's insular, and I don't think it's narrow to think that we can actually be perfectly self-sufficient. We can reopen sugar beet factories. We can actually become a sort of a green model of agriculture in terms of going organic and all of that. We have the capacity to do that. We have the capacity to market ourselves for that, and people will pay premiums for that. I think that once we believe something is possible, it will happen. But again, we do have to look at the question of the extent to which the EU does control natural resources and the degree to which we need to loosen that control in order to have a better future.
Last question, please.
Yeah, it's just really brief. I just wonder, this seems to be a really male-dominated room and idea, and I just wonder, I'm just wondering, would that be a problem going forward? Like, why is that the case? Even if you look at the panel, why is that the case? I'm actually asking it as a genuine question. John Mcgurk just tweeted that everyone here largely is male, and I just see that as being something the media will use over and over again to put this idea down.
I thank you for your question. I'm as well as left-wing, I'm a feminist. And normally there is something called a manel, which is a panel full of men. And it happens in the media a lot. It also happens in academia a lot. And if you look at the European Parliament, there is a predominance of men. But I don't necessarily see that as a barrier whatsoever. When the call was for ladies to stand up, you can see there's quite a number of them. And again, I would urge you, as a female, to speak, because Irish women are silent on so many things. And the more women who speak and the more women who are out there in social media, the better it will become and the more equal it will become. So thank you for that question.
I'd say something a little bit maybe risky.
No, please.
And it is this, that I think there's a real problem, that when even the question itself carries this within it. That idea that when women are implicated in the possibility of public discussion, they will always be talking about what are called women's issues, by and large. So we need a platform which is men and women talking about all of our issues, not talking about a narrow band of particular ideological obsessions, which are, a different question, and which now dominate our culture and official life. To a great extent the problem, because a lot of the demonology which has come out that we're talking about, which has silenced people and had them called xenophobes and homophobes, it started with the taunt of misogynist, that anybody who dared to actually even question the nature of family, the nature of parenting, the rights of parents, the correct distribution of rights, was called a misogynist on that basis.